Hit me high. It's just an annual thing. Our fall run for striper is late October all the way through November, and it pushes even into December, where you get 28-inch fish all the way up to 50, 55-inch fish. There's been times where we've had 30-pound, 40-pound, close to 50-pound fish, again, in 10 feet of water, right in our backyard. I literally live 8 houses away from the beach, so when I say the backyard, it is our backyard. Yeah, we're on false bottom right now, so that's how thick they are. What's that? We have false bottom on the machine, so that's how thick they are. You should be able to snag. You got bunkered just right up on the surface. They're starting to sun themselves. We don't have any stripers coming in and doing like big blitzes right now. When you see that, they're getting pushed out of the water. So hopefully they're underneath them.
So we're just snagging bunker right now. Just throwing out a weighted treble hook. You just kind of look, keep an eye out. You'll see them boiling on the top. You should chuck it into the middle of them. Let it sink for a little bit, get into the meat of them, and you just start cranking. Just like that. And it's pretty easy from there. Just reel them in. Get them on a circle hook. Feed them to the big boys. Nice. That's how you catch your bait.
So right now, the bunker is so thick underneath the boat that the machine is actually reading false bottom. We broke the inlet just as the sun was coming up, and I had reports that south did pretty good, so that was our move. We went south, and within a mile we found our first pot of bait. We pushed on it pretty hard. It was really easy to snag, so we had 3 or 4 lines in within 10 minutes, and it was just nothing but dogfish. So when that happens, you could either stick it out or move. So we ended up moving a little bit further south to the next pod. We got in the next pod, same thing, we had more dogfish. So we went even further south. We were off of Seaside Boardwalk, and we got into a school where there weren't that many boats around. There was only 5 or 6 boats that were in that little pot of bunker. Snagged some. The marks on my screen were different. They were not dogfish marks, so we stuck it out, and within 10 minutes we had that first striper on the boat. Oh, look at all the bass on the screen too.
Let him run. Yeah.
There you go. So that you're just gonna pump and reel, pump and reel.
He's like straight out. He's near. He's close to that boat.
Hope you guys aren't fighting the same fish.
Right?
If so, you better tighten that drag because we're not losing this battle. You might be.
I think we are. Yeah, we're on each other.
Wait, are we still hooked up?
Yeah.
Alright, fingers crossed.
Nice fish too. Nice one, dude. Phew. Crazy what's right? It probably popped out when the dude started pulling the line.
Did we get the pliers? No, we're good. This much bait around, they're just honed in on one thing. It's just bunker. You can throw all the swim shads you want, but if they're being picky, it's strictly bunker bite.
Yeah, I think it's real weird.
We spent a good portion of the day snagging and dropping live bunker, but for the first couple hours we just had dogfish. We did end up getting one striper. It was probably 38 inches, 40 inches. When we actually hooked up, we had somebody trying to snag bunker right next to us, and his treble hook went over our line with a fish on. So we had to deal with that mess and bring the rod up to the front of the boat, and he was able to get his treble hook off, and we still had the fish on, so we brought it back to the cockpit and finished it off. By the time that we reset, word got out, and the rest of the fleet caught up and kind of pushed everything away. So we got our opportunity and we got our fish, but we ended up having to make another move. So we switched tactics. Ended up trolling for the back half of the day. We were trolling bunker spoons on wireline with a personal best wooden troller plug down the middle. We got a bunch of bait, but there's really nothing on it. We got another fleet up north, it's like a mile, so we're gonna put the outriders out, troll some bunker spoons up to that fleet, and just kind of cruise through these bait piles.
Dan, I'm just passing the inshore. You got your radio on?
So we have 300 feet of wire, and every 100 foot is 10 foot depth. So the spoon should be fluttering about 30 foot. And then we have
a troller plug from Personal Best, and that's like a troller diver plug, and that sits 25 to 30 foot too. So we got one big spoon, one little spoon, and then the troller plug. Put it in neutral.
Feels like a solid fish.
Alright, slow and steady now.
Bring him head up over this way. There you go. Up. There we go. Oh yeah, that's a big one. That is a big one.
Let's go. Oh, that's incredible.
Holy cow.
That's a bigger one.
All right. Easy there. That's actually 40 inches.
Tried and true. Bunker spoons, like that's kind of the standard of trolling, and the way that they're designed, they have a keel weight on the bottom, so as they're going through the water, it's just swinging back and forth, mimicking like a wounded bunker. So they've been using that for 50, 60 years, probably even longer, and I guarantee you every boat up here in New Jersey or even off of New York has bunker spoons when they're out trolling for stripers. We trolled around for another hour or so, and I didn't like what I was seeing, so we ended up moving off the beach in a little bit deeper water, and we found a fleet of boats that were working on a pile of sand eels. So then we switched from live lining and trolling, and we put on our sand eel jigs, diamond jigs, sand eel jigs, anything like that will work. We ended up hooking up, but we lost the fish right underneath the boat, ran into the running gear, and the braid popped immediately.
Yeah, so today was pretty slow. We found a lot of bait. We had a couple of fish, a couple of stripers, but mainly dogfish. Worked out deeper, started using diamond jigs. We had one in the diamond jig, went underneath the boat, we lost it. But I think for tomorrow we're gonna start with bluefin, just because there's a lot of bait, a lot of birds working. So we'll start out there and then probably hit the beach after bluefin.
birds is the eye in the sky. They see a lot what we don't. So if you got a flock of birds that they're out in front of you or behind you and they're honed in and diving and swirling around and kind of centered on a school of bait, that's what you're looking for. I mean, those fish, those stripers, those bluefin, they'll push bait to the surface, and then once that bait gets to the surface, the birds see it and they start attacking. So that bait's getting attacked from below and above. So for us, it really helps us out when we see those birds working on a pile of bait, because that means most likely there's something big underneath it, or there's at least a predator underneath it pushing it up.
Yeah, we had a bluefin right in front of the boat, underneath all these birds. So we're doing a loop right now, try to get in front of it without getting all messed up in this fleet of boats that's striper fishing over here.
We really learned how to tuna fish on our own. Like we have a couple of captains that are close friends that gave us tips and tricks and kind of tweaked our program. But for the first 5 years of owning a boat, we didn't even come close to these big bluefin. So when we caught that fish, it was 3 days in a row. We sat in the same lump for all 3 days. We jigged squid in the morning. We were live lining squid. We were jigging them all day long and just waiting and hoping for that bite. We ended up fishing. We started Sunday. Sunday we didn't get anything. We had 2 marks on the screen the entire day. We knew that they were there. We knew that the bait was there. So we went back Monday. Monday was the same thing. We had 3 live squid out. We covered 3 different parts of the water column and nothing. We thought that we did everything right, and we put like a solid 10 hours in and redrifted over this lump, and we couldn't get a bite. We couldn't get hooked up. And then the last day was Tuesday. Me and my buddy went out, and everybody else that was out Sunday and Monday, they bailed. They didn't want to sit out there and do nothing all day. So me and my buddy Ryan, we went out, went to the same lump, found the same squid, and we did it again. But that day, 9 a.m. hit, and we got bit. And when we got bit, it was 45 minutes of fighting a bluefin. We had a real old Pen 50 with a pretty crappy rod, and we had to work for it. It's not like the gear that I have now with the bent butt 80s and the nice custom bogan rods that are light and have good action to them. But we worked for that fish. It took 45 minutes for us, and he had to pass it off, and I had to pass it off, and we finally got it to the boat. We put a gaff in its head, and just out of adrenaline, we put another gaff in its head, and we swung it right over the rail. We didn't even use the tuna door that the boat has. But when that fish hit the deck, it was the coolest fishing experience I've ever had. It took 3 days, a lot of hours, a lot of live squid, but when that fish hit the deck, we did it. Like that. We couldn't be happier. We knew it was going to be all chance, and our ticket got punched that day. The bluefin that we saw today, we were only 3 miles off the beach, and it's a special time of year for that to happen. When everything is in our backyard, 6-7 miles away from the inlet, why not go for it? Why not try? Yeah, we didn't get one today, but we had a couple opportunities where I was up on the bow casting, and we had fish maybe 20 or 30 yards underneath birds. They blew out of the water completely. There's a foot gap in between the fish and the water, and seeing those fish come up, it's like a school bus just came out of the water for no reason. Again, it's special. It's a special kind of fishery. It's the hardest thing to do, and it is the holy grail. The bluefin is king. New Jersey gets a bad rap, but we have a stellar fishery up here. All season long, all year long, you'll find some pretty cool marine life, whether it be dolphin or sea turtles. We get sunfish. We've seen big rays before, manta rays jumping out of the water, 6 foot, 7 foot in the air. Whales are just another part of that. We get the whales, and they're making that same migration that a lot of fish from up north are doing. So they're feeding on the same bait. They're feeding on the sand eels. They're in the bunker schools. Yeah, it's a part of their journey. They're cruising south as the temps drop. Today we have 55-degree water. That's kind of like prime time when everything starts to collide. You get bluefin, stripers, threshers, whales, all feeding on this same bunker population.